Awesome. Thank you, Josh. So thank you everybody for showing up today. Today is going to be, we're going to keep going with that aerobic activity series that we've been doing. And we're going to talk about strength training exercises for walkers and runners because it's an important activity we all participate in one way or another. And everybody in this call has some sort of aerobic goal, whether it's something like Josh is running a marathon in 2 hours and I believe it was 14 minutes, or if you just want to hike longer or you want to complete your first 5K, you know, these exercises are going to help you get there. And I think it's something we should continue to talk about to get everybody.
You muted yourself, Chris.
Josh muted me. Sorry, how much did we miss there?
So, no, I just did it because I was trying to let someone in, and right as I was going to let them in, they got put in, and so I muted you. My bad.
Yeah, so we're just going to continue on with aerobic activity training and the importance of it. We're going to give a few Strava updates, then we're going to have Lorenzo introduce the program family. We're going to get a little bit of time to move, and then everybody's going to get some time to reconvene with their individual families and, you know, catch up on this past week. Maybe talk a little bit more dirt about the Giants and how amazing the Dodgers are. And, we'll come back to the same room and say goodbye. Just kidding. Lorenzo, go ahead and take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lorenzo, and I would like to introduce our program staff video.
We all wake up to challenges. We feel lost, we have fears, and we have feelings that there is no way up. But every day, we stand, we fight, and we break through these challenges against all odds. We are students, athletes, dreamers, and believers, and we believe that we will win. I believe we will all win.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
Believe.
I believe. Let's get it.
Awesome. I don't know about you all, but that's left me reinvigorated. I feel like this staff introduction series that we've been doing has been really great. And while some of you have been to the parks with us or have only known us to be online, we do have a little chant that they sort of brought into. So if you want to unmute yourself or follow along muted, just go ahead and repeat after me. I
I
I
I believe.
believe.
I believe.
I believe
that we will win.
We will win.
I believe that we will win. I believe that we
I
will win.
believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I will win.
That we will win.
Awesome. So I've really have enjoyed this mini series that we've been doing, but without further ado, we're going to give it to Letty to give us some Strava updates.
Thank you, Chris. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all having an easy day. Here is the Strava update for this week. We have a total of 83 members. So, the family's growing. We're getting there. I truly believe that we can reach 100 members, honestly, before the year ends. So, tell a friend about 3 Wins. Tell a friend about Strava. We could add in more members, definitely. And then a total mileage for our 83 members is 4,647 miles. That's crazy. I honestly remember in the beginning, we started off with a few miles. We were still in the US. But now, where are we relative to Northridge? So if we go up north, I don't know if anyone has seen the map of Canada, but if you go further up, it looks like it's kind of breaking away with those little pieces. Well, we've completely overtaken Canada, so we've done all of Canada. If we go to the east, we've reached my favorite country, one that I hope to visit sometime in the future, Iceland. That's in the east. If we go down south, we are in South America, specifically Bolivia, and we are halfway through Brazil. Now, if we go west, we are in Saporro, Japan, which is the 5th largest city of Japan, and we are a quarter of the way through Russia. If you go down a little bit in the southwest, we're almost to the islands of Fiji. So, round of applause to everybody. I see you all putting your updates. Shout out to everyone on the leaderboard. There's Josh, there's Melinda, Irma, Cindy, all of you, congratulations. And, we're all doing this together. It's not, just the leaders. We're all together in this, which brings us to my next update, which is the 5K for this weekend. Yes, so we have the Dia de los Muertos 5K, which is Day of the Dead. And Day of the Dead is a 3-day celebration honoring the dead. And so I don't know if you've seen the movie Coco. It, goes into the holiday and everything. But for this weekend, we are doing our virtual 5K. It's Saturday, October 24th, which is only 5 days away. It's going to be all day, so whether you wake up at 7 a.m., if you wake up around noon, or if you want to do it in the evening, it's all day. Tell a friend, dress up in a costume, upload those photos, get in those activities, and I cannot wait to see everyone. And those are all the updates. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Letty. I know I'm excited about this 5K event. I'm going to try to put some skeleton makeup on and hopefully it doesn't sweat by the end of my run. Sweat off, but we'll see what happens, how terrible or amazing the selfie is. Awesome. So getting into our presentation, I'm going to scan the Zoom room right now, but as a show of hands, where do you land on your aerobic activity? Do you primarily do walking? Are you a runner? I know Gary's a cyclist, but show of hands, raise your hand if you're a walker, frequent walker. Awesome, we got a lot of walkers in the house. Now, what if you're a runner? Put your hand up if you're a runner. Got a couple runners, a lot less runners. That's okay. So whether you're a runner who wants to move faster or even a walker who wants to slightly move into running, these next few minutes are going to be really tied into how to get you to that next step. So walking is something we tend to overlook because it's one of our activities of daily living. We do it so often and so frequently that we tend to neglect it, but you can add a performance effect to running. If you didn't know this, there's a trial in the Olympic Games for speed walking, and people receive gold medals for speed walking. So if you think that I'm just gonna walk and walking has no performance effect, you're wrong. You can add any performance effect to walking. And to be able to do that, you want to start to train those muscles that we use when we walk. And if you see this diagram below or to my right, you want to begin training the muscles in the lower extremity. In the thigh, you want to train muscles like the vastus intermedius, the vastus lateralis, and the vastus medialis. And the lower half of the leg, you want to train the muscles in your calf, like the gastroc and the soleus. Now, strength training to become a better walker or a better runner shouldn't be intimidating. You don't have to spend hours in the weight room under heavy weight. You just have to do a few exercises here and there. And those exercises are things like squats, lunges, deadlifts, calf raises, and lateral walks. And the reason we want to begin to incorporate these activities into our exercises is because they help build strength in the lower extremity. And we want to do them in the format that builds muscular endurance. So when we're doing these activities, we want to do rep ranges between 10 to 20 reps. And we want to make sure that we're doing our reps with perfect form every time. We don't want quantity over quality. We want quality over quantity. So the reason it's important to build muscular endurance is because, you know, when we're walking or when we're running, it's a prolonged exercise. So we want to build the capacity to be able to commit to these exercises longer. And with that, eventually we'll get the performance effect of being able to do them faster. Now, if you're a runner, running is something that tends to plateau rather quickly. Once we get to our upper limit of our running speed or capacity, there's very few things you can do strength-wise and the way you train that will make you faster. But one form of activity that we covered last week was plyometrics. And it's a different form of aerobic activity that focuses on how to absorb force, but also how to put force into the ground. And plyometrics is a great activity for our advanced runners to help them build the capacity to produce force, push it into the ground, and propel themselves further and faster across the time, across the distance they're trying to cover. Now, plyometrics is something that can get complicated rather quickly. And if you are a part of 3 Winds and have been for a while, we do plyometrics sometimes, or we used to do them in the parks, and we would do things like skaters. We would practice our form with things like marches and lateral cone hops. And those are some introductory exercises that will help you raise that aerobic activity, teach you how to absorb and project force into the ground. And they're also going to help you become a faster runner in the long run. So if you've missed last week's presentation on plyometrics, I do recommend you go and watch it, listen to it, to get some more in-depth information on how you should perform plyometrics. And we do have a small demonstration of the lateral bound plyometric exercise. So as you saw in the video, the athlete's main goal was absorbing the force quickly. He sat down into the ground with that single leg very rapidly and exploded and pushed himself off of the floor. That's the most important part of plyometrics and becoming a faster runner, is being able to absorb the force quickly and be able to push it out of the body into the floor quickly as well. Now, tying it all together, in the last 12 to 13 weeks, we've been talking a lot about different exercises, different things you can do depending on what your goal is. But realistically, all the things we've been talking about culminate into hoping you reach those SMART goals. Now, whether your SMART goals to become a better walker, to who moves into running, to complete their first 5K, you know, you do need some strength training. Or if your primary goal is strength training, but you want to put on weight, lose fat, but not really increase the amount of weight you're getting. So I mean by like put on muscular mass while dropping fat, you know, you're going to need some aerobic activity in there. And whether your goal is mobility, you want to become more flexible, you're going to need strength to support yourself to be able to do those things. So like my first point on the slide is strength training is important regardless of what your goals are. And the same goes for aerobic activity and mobility training. Now, the exercises we talked about today are just the first steps to becoming a better walker, an individual who can hike longer, or a runner who can become faster. But running is more than just a lower extremity exercise. Running incorporates the core. And if you came to our core lecture 3 weeks ago, you know that the core is everything from the neck down to the glutes. And we use all those muscles when we're running. It's what keeps us upright. We're also using the upper extremity. We're using our arms when we're running. That motion of driving our arms forward, that's what's helping us propel ourselves forward as we run. So you see, we tend to present these mini lectures as abstract things that you can participate in and complete to better one avenue of your health. But realistically, the avenue that it may look like one avenue, but they all lead to the same thing. Becoming a better runner will help you increase your aerobic activity. You'll be able to do these things longer. And to do so, you need more running. And you also have to train your mobility because you want to be able to drive those hips and those knees as high as you can when you're running. So, you know, don't come to these lectures and view them as, oh, I have to do just that one thing. We've been giving everybody so many pieces here and there, and it's time to start connecting the dots and really the comprehensiveness of what we've been giving our participants is so important. And with that, I'm going to give it to our exercise directors so we can have a little bit of a movement and we can enjoy some activity together.
Hello, everyone. All right, so we're going to be doing 4 exercises. I'll be demonstrating 2, and then Omar will be demonstrating 2 more. So I'll be presenting plyometric exercises, so what Chris was just talking about. All right. It's a little hard to see. All right, so for the first one, we're just going to be standing up nice and straight, and we're going to take a step diagonally. Okay. So right behind us, all right? But we're keeping the back leg straight, front leg slight bent on the knees. Then we're coming back and we're doing the same thing. So we're just crossing right behind us, and our goal is to try to keep our hips in front of us. So don't do this. It's not a dancing move, right? So don't turn those hips. Try to keep them forward. And we're crossing right behind us, all right? We want to make it more difficult, then we would just go faster. If not, let's dominate dominate the movement first, right? Doing it slowly, take your time. There's no problem with that, all right? Second exercise, it's gonna be almost high knees. It's called quick feet. We're gonna bring up one foot up, right? Our knee all the way up to our hip. Opposite hand's gonna go up, all right? We're just gonna be taking steps, kind of simulating when we're running or walking. And we wanna make sure, we're nice and straight. Our chest is gonna be open, just stepping up. We wanna make this more difficult. We'll just speed it up, all right? And if we wanna make it easier, just take your time. All right, that being said, Omar will be demonstrating the two other exercises.
Thank you for that, Alex. So the other two exercises that I'm gonna be demoing, the first one is gonna be the lunge, and then the second one is gonna be the deadlift. So for the lunge, we wanna make sure we're standing up straight. We're actually either gonna push one of our legs back. When we go back, we wanna make sure that we keep a 90-90 on our legs as we move down. So our chest is going to stay nice and high, just like this. We're gonna move almost in a straight line, just like this. So from the front of it, when we go into this position, we really want to avoid our knee from moving side to side, since it is gonna work or challenge our balance. So it's gonna look just like that. And then for the deadlifts, we wanna start with our feet hip width apart or a little bit wider, depending on personal preference. Then from here, we're gonna make sure we have a micro band in our knees. I'm gonna show you with a pair of dumbbells, but you can use resistant bands, dumbbells, medicine balls, or water bottles, anything that you have at home. We're gonna put them out in front. We're gonna start to bend or hinge at the hips, making sure our back is nice and straight. Kind of like we're looking over a cliff. So our butt's gonna be pushed back. Just like this, we wanna make sure that we're looking forward. Our gaze is gonna be fixed on an object ahead of us. Our back is gonna be nice and straight. And our shoulders are gonna be nice and tucked, just so we don't have any movement. And then this one should work more the hamstrings. The lunge will work more your quadriceps, but they all do work your glutes, your calves, and your core. So always make sure to keep your core nice and tight when doing these. All right, thank you. Back to you, Chris.
Awesome, thank you guys. So as Omar had mentioned, these exercises are training different parts of the anatomy, and these are all the parts that help us propel ourselves when we're running. They help us absorb the force when we're doing plyometrics. So it may feel like we're throwing a lot at you right now, but like I said, we've been doing this for a few weeks already, and it's time to just culminate it together so we see the greater effect of everything we've been talking about, because while we segment it, it's all interconnected and it's all important. And that is it for the presentation. If everybody who has not already done so can add their family name to the end of their name, we will have Josh begin to break us out into our separate rooms so we can catch up with each other.
Just need a few more. Oh, they got some updates now. So Angie, Christian, Evelyn, I think Evelyn, your program. Julio, Sandra, Saul, and Val. So Angie, I think you're Camino, but I don't know if we have any Camino this evening. Okay, so we're going prep for Angie. Christian.
He's in prep. Prep.
He's in what? Prep, perfect. Julio. Julio Flores. Val and Sandra are prep as well. Thank you. And Saul. Saul and Julio. Who was that? Saul is prep. And Julio? Anyone know which group Julio's in?
Negative.
Alrighty, so I will open up all the rooms for everyone. Go ahead and hop in. Let me.
Hey Josh, Marco is saying that it sent him back to the passcode, and I told him that just to do lowercase